You're listening to Calendar of Stolen Days on Soul Sound. Chapter 2. The Weekday Ban. The contract page felt like evidence, or a weapon, or both. Celia folded it tighter, not surrendering it. She looked at the man who'd proposed marriage in a stairwell. Lucan Vey stood in the morning hush. Consortium gray made him look like a filing cabinet that could kill you. His hands were still, too still, the stillness of someone counting breaths because he'd forgotten how to do it automatically.
Not yes, not no. Terms.
Lucan's jaw tightened, not disappointment, something worse, recognition.
And come where your paper can survive.
He turned toward the vault arcade entrance, a vault door in arch form, all iron and ink-stained stone. The threshold breathed cold air that tasted of copper and old ledgers. As they approached, Celia felt the pressure shift in her sinuses, like the building was reading them, judging their right to enter. Lucan moved differently here, not the stairwell predator, the clerk who knew which forms to file. He held up a hand, not stopping her, signaling protocol, then stepped through the arch first. The ink scent thickened. A subtle pull tugged at Celia's coat, drawn toward labeled corridors she couldn't see yet. She followed. Inside, the arcade spread like a cathedral built by accountants who worshipped time. High ceilings lost in shadow, rows of brass-edged drawers stretching into dimness, soft murmurs speaking numbers only, no names, no days, no humanity. Cold, dry air that sucked moisture from her throat, the taste of iron ink coating her tongue. Each drawer thudded shut like a verdict. The air carried weight, not metaphor, physical pressure that made her shoulders want to curl inward. Celia clocked the place immediately. Policy made physical. Awe tempted her, vault architecture always did, but disgust tightened faster. This wasn't wonder. This was inventory made of lives. She walked toward a corridor marked with numbers. Her mouth opened to test the air.
Monday.
Don't.
The correction cut the air. Celia's jaw snapped shut. She felt the corridor react. A nearby ledger drawer shivered closed, metal scraping stone. The pressure in her sinuses spiked for half a beat, then settled heavier than before, like the arcade had heard the name, marked the speaker. Celia stepped closer, not touching, close enough that his whisper wouldn't spread.
They don't say weekdays in here. Names make it harder to pretend.
The rule landed wrong in her chest. Not safety, erasure. They'd built a place so predatory that humanizing the prey destabilized the system. A broker appeared in the corridor's mouth. Smooth smile, expensive coat. The kind of man who'd sell you your own future and charge interest on the hope.
You're loud for a guest. Want to learn the rules before they learn you?
I want the buyer. Soren's smile didn't waver. If anything, it sharpened.
Then you want the stand.
The word hummed in Celia's pocket. Her copied routing codes, hand-copied, physical evidence, seemed to warm against her hip, like they knew they were relevant, like they were listening. Lucan's presence shifted beside her, velvet-cold restraint.
I can get you a name, but I don't do business with lone humans.
He looked at Lucan. The look carried weight, leverage.
He comes.
I'm not an escort fee.
She's a party. Set the time, set the terms.
The corridor seemed to exhale when Lucan used contract language. The air pressure eased, like the place recognized legal shapes, respected them. Soren nodded, amused.
Ledger booth 7, 5 minutes.
He vanished into the shadows between drawers. Celia didn't watch him go. She watched Lucan's hands, still counting breaths, still trying to remember how to be stable. They walked, side by side, not touching. The distance between them felt deliberate, hazardous. Celia watched his hands like they were weapons. Lucan watched her breathing like it was a countdown. Celia chose the booth. pushed inside, shut the door with the efficiency of filing something final. The latch clicked. The sound carried weight, like a stamp landing, like a ward sealing. The air shifted, pressurized, contained. No ambient audience, no shadows to hide in. Lucan stood in the small space like he was trying to occupy less of it.
Explicit consent. Spoken date. Spoken plan. Right to stop. No retaliation if I stop.
She paused. Let the words settle. The booth's ledger paper darkened at the edges, as if the room was recording.
Repeat them.
Lucan's throat moved, swallowing, the sound audible in the sealed quiet.
Explicit consent.
Spoken date.
Spoken plan.
Right to stop.
No retaliation.
He stopped, looked at her. Something in his eyes, gratitude edged with shame, like being given water after forgetting what thirst felt like. Then he reached for her, the same efficiency he used on stamps, wrist, distance, control. His fingers extended with procedural precision. Celia stepped back, one step, sharp.
Don't touch me like you're signing me. Touch me like you mean it. And then ask again.
Lucan stopped, mid-reach. His hand hung in the air between them, frozen.
May I?
The air pressure shifted, eased, like the booth recognized consent as anchoring, as law. But Lucan's eyes held something darker, warning.
You will feel what I lost, attached to the date. Regret, like a bruise you didn't earn.
Celia felt her jaw tighten. The cost named. No romance glaze, just the truth of what she'd carry.
Then I choose the bruise. I choose it once. Trial.
The booth held its breath. The ledger paper seemed to lean toward them, listening. They spoke a date. Numbers only. No weekday names here.
10/03.
Lucan repeated it. Lower.
October 3rd.
Then the plan. Concrete actions. Survival as procedure.
I lock my apartment door. I write the memo by hand. I seal it for chain of custody.
A day existed between them now. Chosen, not taken. The booth felt too quiet around it, as if sound might make it human. They stepped from the booth into a corridor that had changed. The lighting was the same, dim, ink-colored, but the quality of attention had shifted. Everyone nearby had gone quieter without being told. The air brightened and tightened, like polished paper under a lamp. A woman stood in their path. Perfect timing. The corridor had to bend around her. Talia Merrow, consortium heir. Smile like a scalpel.
Lucan, you disappear, and suddenly you have a human. Proper channels exist for guests.
Lucan's posture didn't change, but something in his stillness became defensive.
She's under my jurisdiction.
Not spouse, not partner. Jurisdiction. Celia filed the distinction. He was protecting her without claiming possession.
Such a severe word. Humans misfile everything.
Celia stepped forward, into the space Talia owned, refused to defer.
It's theft. Ledgerless theft. In public office ink.
The words hit. Talia's smile flickered. Not gone, recalibrating. And in Celia's pocket, the routing codes felt hot, live evidence. A nearby stamp pad dried, the ink refusing to cooperate. Lucan moved, small movement, positioning himself not as shield, but as witness.
Do you still consent?
The question hung, public, vulnerable. He was asking for consent in front of a predator who wanted him to fail. Celia looked at him, looked at Talia, chose.
October 3rd, 10/03. I lock my apartment door. I write the memo by hand. I seal it for chain of custody.
Lucan repeated it. The corridor hush thickened. Paper edges in nearby ledgers darkened, anchoring to the spoken date.
October 3rd.
Then it happened. Not ritual, not magic show, just transfer. Celia felt it as weight in her chest, a physical pull like something being drawn across a threshold. Lucan's posture steadied, a missing beam slotting home. And then the other thing, the regret. It hit her like a memory that wasn't hers, grief shaped like someone else's life, a sudden invasive texture behind her eyes, sharp, metallic, wrong. Her throat burned with ink metal, her skin felt too tight, too sensitive, like she'd been scraped raw from the inside. Not her grief, not her loss, but it lived in her now, attached to October 3rd like a sealed file tied to her nerves. Celia locked it down. 1 breath, 2. Control fracturing for 1 beat, then locking into place harder than before. The corridor watched. Talia watched. No one spoke. Celia met Lucan's eyes, saw the shame there, the relief, the terrible intimacy of what they'd just done in public. The regret wasn't his anymore. It was hers. Download Soul Sound on App Store to listen to Calendar of Stolen